Alright guys, what's going on? Dan here with Hatch's Recreational Engineering, and in this episode I'm going to help you decipher if you have an SS Nova.
A lot of car for the money. Ask your Chevrolet dealer about Nova Super Sport. It's worth working for.
So as someone who has a plethora of third-gen Nova stuff and X-Body stuff, I get this question asked all the time: how do I know if my third-gen Nova is an SS car? So in this video, we're going to break down how you can identify if your car is an SS or not, and key things to look for. But before we even get into this video, it is important for you to know that for a 68 through 71 Nova, without any supporting evidence like the build sheet or a window sticker or the numbers matching drivetrain, the numbers matching engine will have an SS only VIN. There is no way of knowing for sure that you have an SS. Everything I'm going to show you in this video will help you identify if your car could have or is potentially an SS car, but without that information there is no way of guaranteeing for sure that you have an SS. So with that, let's get into it. So for demonstrational purposes in today's video, we're going to be using Caramel Latte, which is my barn find, Pittsburgh found 1970 Nova that I believe to be a true L48 SS car. If you haven't seen the video of us going and getting this thing, you should check it out. In the year 2025, there are more SS Novas than GM ever manufactured. So for the purpose of this video, we're not going to talk about any decals or emblems or hood louvers. We are strictly going to talk about things on your car that you can hunt for to tell if it's an SS. Bucket seats, consoles, floor shifters, console gauges, and even 12-bolt rear ends do not indicate that you actually have a real SS car, as these cars can basically be ordered with anything. They can be ordered with bench seats, column shifters, and even 10-bolt rear ends. So as you can see with Caramel Latte here, there's plenty of original equipment that is missing off of this car.
What do you mean?
Obviously the engine, transmission, and in this case rear end are gone. Now I do know where the transmission and the rear end are, so that helped a little bit in deciphering whether or not this was a real SS car. But there's still plenty of other original equipment here that help to decipher what we're looking at. A good, easy place to start on these cars is with the VIN and cowl tag. And since my car has no fenders, it has no hood hinges, so for the purposes of this video, we're going to remove the hood. So a good spot to start on these is the VIN. Because of how hard it is to see that one through the windshield, we'll use the cowl tag here. These first digits here, 11427, indicates that this was a V8 car. If you have 11327, you had a 6-cylinder car. And in 1968 through 1971, no 6-cylinder cars were SS cars. So you can immediately rule out if you have an SS if you have an 11327 VIN. Now on 1972, it's a little bit different, and if the 5th digit in your VIN is a K on a 1972 car, you have an SS. Hands down, no question about it. In 1972, the L48 350 was the only engine offered in the SS package, and that K indicates that that's what you got. So if you have a K in your VIN on a 1972, you have an SS car. You're done.
That was easy.
But for a 1968 through 1971 Nova, 11427 is just the beginning of our hunt here. So the next thing we want to look for is in 1968, if you got an SS Nova, you were given finned drum brakes in the front. That's only 68 specific. SS cars in 68 have finned drum brakes. So if you have finned drum brakes on a 68, there's a good chance you're looking at an SS car. Now 1969 through 1972, the minute you checked off SS, you got a power disc brake front end with a sway bar. So as you can see on Caramel Latte here, we have power disc brakes with a sway bar. So the next thing to take a look at is the fuel line, which in this case we have a dual fuel line. Both the L48, which was the 300 horsepower 350 small block with a 4-barrel, and the L34, which was the 350 horsepower 396 big block, would have had the dual fuel line like this. The L78 big block, which is the 375 horsepower big block 396, would have had a single 3/8 line. Another thing to take a look at while we're up here in the front of the car is if your car was equipped with a manual transmission SS cars were offered with the Muncie transmission. So, with the Muncie transmission,
your speedometer cable actually comes out at a different spot than normal
automatic or Saginaw transmission Novas. As you can see,
the speedometer cable exits at the transmission tunnel here, whereas
all other options and models exit over here by the fuse block. Alright, so for other signs, we'll have to take a look at the rear end of the car. Alright, so on the rear of the vehicle, you should look at the rear leaf springs. You should have a multi-leaf rear spring. And another thing to take a look for is on the rear driver's side frame rail, you'll have this plate welded on here. This plate, known as the doubler plate, was used for an exhaust hanger for dual exhaust, which would have been standard equipment on an SS car. So Caramel Latte shows a lot of signs that indicate that it could potentially be an SS car. But as I stated in the beginning of this video, without any surefire paperwork or documentation to prove it, we'll never actually know. I do know that this car was originally tuxedo black with a bench seat, Muncie M21 transmission, and a 12-volt rear end. We also know that it was a 350 4-barrel car with the dual fuel line, doubler plate, the rear multi-leaf spring, powered disc brake, front subframe with the sway bar. So there is a very, very good chance that this was a real SS car. This car was also built as a street machine back in the early 80s. And cloning SS cars in the early 80s wasn't really a thing. So the fact that this has the louvers, the rear tail panel, also kind of point us in the direction that this could be a real SS car. Now, I know I said I wasn't going to talk about, bolt-on stuff like this, but especially with so much of this stuff being offered as reproductions nowadays, it's so easy for somebody just to slap that stuff on there because they like the aesthetic of it. Now, I bet some of you are wondering, Dan, why didn't you talk about 73 or 74 at all? That's because in 73 and 74, the SS was just an appearance package. You could have a 6-cylinder with a SS, 307 2-barrel SS. It's just an appearance package. So to me, it's not really anything. So no real need to talk about it. Now, to me personally, I could not care less if Caramel Latte is or isn't a real SS. It makes zero difference to me. Without the numbers matching drivetrain and restoring it back to like original condition, it does nothing for the value of this car, whether it is or isn't an SS. And honestly, I picked this thing up because I dig the true 70s street machine look of it, which is what I plan to do with it, restore it back to that condition. So hopefully this video helps you identify if your car is a potentially an SS car, or if a vehicle that you're considering buying is potentially an SS car. But ultimately, at the end of the day, if you have a project car similar to Caramel Latte here that may or may not be an SS or doesn't have information to support it, who cares? It's your car. Build it however you want it. I mean, 300 horsepower out of a 350 is nothing to write home about. So build it how you want it, make it a fun driver, and enjoy it with your family. Don't stress about whether or not it's a real SS car, because at the end of the day, without all the numbers matching stuff, it does not matter. So there's also tons of other great resources to check out in identifying your car and what it was or is. The novaresource.com is a great reference to check out, even if you're just trying to decode the car that you have, regardless if it's an SS. Also, John Gilman over at Shop 209 has some great Nova information, Nova facts, Nova myths. He's got some great content over on his channel, so make sure to take a run over there and see what he's got. That's going to do it for this video, guys. Let me know if there's any SS specific facts that I missed. Drop that down in the comments. Let me know what you think about these quick videos of just Nova information. And that's going to do it for this one. So drop something down in the comments, hit that like and subscribe button, and we will see you next time.